Hello students, I hope you are doing well in your studies. So let us continue with the chapter planning and development. So today we are going to discuss two important topic of the chapter which are recently added, that is Niti Aayog and NDC, National Development Council, and Niti Aayog is National Institution for Transforming India. So first of all we will take this National Development Council that was established in 6th August 1952. It is an apex body in decision making for development matter in India. President is the chairman of this NDC, and union minister or cabinet ministers with the CMs, they are the member of this NDC. So since 2012, it is not an effective body nowadays, and because it is outdated and its last meeting was held in 2012, it is recommended that its abolition should be done, because now the governing council of this Niti Aayog is taking over its responsibilities. So let us study what is Niti Aayog. The full form of Niti Aayog is National Institution for Transforming India, that is formed on 1st January 2015 by the present Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So during the previous government and the previous prime ministers, this planning commission was considered no more relevant, means its functioning, its working pattern, that is not as per the current trends. So even though some one of the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi that is said about this planning commission, that it is a bunch of jokers, and even the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, ex-Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, he also recommended some positive changes regarding its functioning. So when Prime Minister Narendra Modi formed the government, in his first speech on the Independence Day, he gave a signal that this planning commission is going to be abolished and Niti Aayog will be formed. So Niti word is taken from the Sanskrit literature Niti, that is related to Sanskrit, and this Niti is showing for the National Institution for Transforming India, how the India will be transformed, this Niti Aayog. So earlier the planning commission's ideology was socialist based, because at that time India is inclined toward the socialist pattern of USSR, because during the Great Depression USSR has shown a fabulous growth and the many countries were inspired by that, and our leader also take into consideration that socialist ideology. But after the 1990s time period, the globalization came into picture and every country has to face the competition regarding quality, regarding price, regarding technology. So India is also turning its structure towards the as per the standard parameters of globalization. So this Niti Aayog that acts as a think tank. So what is think tank? The its chairman is Prime Minister, and there are some other members like the CMs of states and the Lieutenant Governor of UTs, except Delhi and Puducherry, because they are having state legislative assembly and their CMs will take part in this governing council, and it is like a cooperative federations, means there is no permanent or fixed structure for every state or UTs. Every areas or territory have their own needs, aspiration, demands, their demography. As per their need, the policies will be designed, and this think tank will provide the policies. So they will foster the federalism structure, and it is a bottom up pattern. They will follow the bottom up pattern. So what happened in bottom up pattern? There are two type of pattern. One is bottom up and second is top down. In top down, the policies were launched at the upper level and then it comes down. That is not very successful as the planning commission did. But now this Niti Aayog, they will follow this bottom up approach. In that approach, the policies will started at the low level or initial level, and after its successful implementation they will goes up. So that is the right criteria for following the things. So now who is the chairman of this Niti Aayog? Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the chairman of this Niti Aayog. The first VC, vice chairman, was the Rajiv. Let me see the name. Arvind Pangaria. The first VC is Arvind Pangaria, and the present VC is Dr. Rajiv Kumar. So now come to the 5-year planning. As we discussed, the first 5-year plan was launched in 1951 and time period is 1951 to 1956, and main emphasis on agriculture, and our leaders, they emphasized on the slow pace of development so that the democracy will not disturb. So in second 5-year plan the focus was on industry, because it is idea of our leaders the country will develop with the industrial growth. In the third 5-year plan there was a mixture of agriculture as well as industries. So now what are the major outcome of this planning commission? Land reforms were done. So what was there in land reforms? Land earlier, so land was scattered in a small parts in distant places. It is difficult for the small farmers so do agriculture. So they do land reforms. The land was combined at one place. Then the green revolution, it was the major outcome of this planning commission. Before 1960s we were not self sufficient in the grain productions, and we are dependent on the majorly on USA for our food needs. So during this 1960 S Swaminathan committee, they proposed grain revolution, and they played a remarkable work in the production of grains. So there are some positive aspects of this grain revolution as well as some negative aspects. So positive aspect is that after this green revolution we were self sufficient, we don't need of importing grains from the other countries, and fulfilling our needs, now we can import grains to the other countries. Negative impact is that only a limited area of India, that is Haryana, Punjab, UP, they got benefited, and wheat and rice, these are the grains which were got promotion during this green revolution. The most of the benefit is taken by the rich peasants, and as I told you, green revolution solved the problem of food crisis in India, and only the drawback of this green revolution is that only the rich peasants, they were benefited most by this green revolution. Under this green revolution, how this implemented, the modern farming methods were introduced by this green revolution, and ultimately which were helpful in the production of crops, because earlier the farmers, they were dependent on the natural condition, like sometimes when they are not having good, they were not having good rain, so the ultimately the crop failures occurs. So by introducing modern farming method like good variety of seeds, high yielding variety seeds, and pesticide fertilizers, and artificial irrigation techniques were introduced, and that helped the farmers a lot, and it solved the food crisis in India. And then next we have the white revolution. The Verghese Kurian, which is also known as milkman of India, he launched the Gujarat cooperative, and you know the famous product of this Gujarat cooperative, that is the Amul. Nowadays it is very popular and doing remarkable job in the rural sector. This Amul gave employment to lots of female of Gujarat, and many organization of India now they are taking it as a case study, and they are implementing the same structure in their states. So after the 1967s, the policies of India, they were turning towards socialist ideology. You know, there were some restrictions on the industries, and some more pro-poor policies were introduced. One example is that 14 banks, 14 private banks, they were nationalized, and now the policies are in that way that poor people were targeted, and so that poverty alleviation programs were launched. It gave a heated debate to the leaders of the India or the opposition of India also, so that they can questions on that policies. So this is all about the chapter, student, and in the next chapter we will start the new one, that is the India's foreign policy. In that chapter we will study what are the factors which were important in the planning of India's foreign policy. So have an advanced reading of the topic and note down your doubts for this chapter. I will take them in the class. So till then, bye bye.